At the start of episode 3 of season 3, Duke tells Reacher that Angel Doll said he had news, but didn't elaborate. Duke says that Angel called Beck directly, as he is always trying to jump the ladder. Reacher finds out from Annette that Beck has his 50th birthday party coming up. Duke interrupts and tells Reacher that Beck wants to see him immediately because something about Angel Doll's voicemail doesn't add up. Beck tells Reacher that Angel Doll ran the plates on the pickup truck Richard's kidnapper was driving, and it belongs to a group Beck did business with. Although Beck is skeptical at first, Reacher convinces Beck that the group has probably expanded and wanted to send a message to Beck with the kidnapping. Reacher goes on to speculate to Beck that the group is probably laying low now, but will hit again. He says Beck needs to find them and take them out before their next move. Reacher lets Beck know that he can help with taking out the group, but needs Beck to give him more information first. Beck dismisses Reacher. Neely lets Reacher know the information she found on Polly, Duke, and Angel Doll. Neely figures out that Reacher is looking for Quinn and offers to help, but Reacher won't allow her to, likely because he won't take the chance that she may be hurt or killed. Reacher asks Duffy to drop a car for him a mile south of the house at midnight so he can go back to Bizarre Bazaar to clean up his mess. Duffy is clearly impressed with Reacher's physique. Duffy tells Reacher that she'll be going with him to Bizarre Bazaar to look for Teresa. She manages to contain herself when Reacher removes his underwear in front of her. Reacher suspects that the more Beck looks into the attempted kidnapping is the more likely he will find out that it was all bullshit. He says they need to make Beck think the kidnappers are no longer a threat, but he doesn't have an idea on how to pull that off yet. Once inside Bizarre Bazaar, Duffy gains access to Angel Doll's laptop, and they split up to search for Teresa. After coming up empty on the search, they hide Angel Doll's body in a container marked 13 on the lot, and Reacher keeps Angel's gun. Two of Beck's guys return a truck to the warehouse while Reacher and Duffy are still inside. The two enter the warehouse looking for Angel Doll and are pounced upon and taken out by Reacher, assisted by Duffy. The bodies are hidden in container number 14. Reacher heads back to the house, while Duffy gets her second eyeful of his half-naked body for the night. Beck tells Reacher to take Richard into town so he can go shopping and to keep him there for most of the day as a big shipment is coming in. On the drive to town, Reacher finds out from Richard that Beck's boss's name is Julius McCabe, and he's much more of a psycho than Polly. Reacher tries to find out from Richard what business Beck is really involved in, but Richard insists that it's only rugs. Richard buys an old Roy Rogers cap gun as a birthday present for his father. His father had one as a boy, which he got from Richard's grandfather, but it was lost. Richard hopes his father will be happy to get one back, since the gun meant a lot to him as a boy. Reacher lets Duffy know about the big shipment expected today, but Duffy already knew from the information on Angel Doll's laptop. She wasn't able to find any details about what was in the shipment, though. With Reacher being kept out of the loop at Beck's, he decides the best way to get into the inner circle is by getting rid of Duke and getting his job as Beck's number 2. He asks Duffy to send Beck an email from Angel Doll's account with an address of an empty house, telling Beck that's the last known location of the group that owns the pickup. Duffy and Villanueva will stake out the docks to see if they can find out more about the shipment. Richard runs into a group of guys he knew from high school. One of them crushes the gift Richard bought and starts to rough him up. As Reacher intervenes, the leader of the group decides to take him on, accompanied by his 2 cronies. Needless to say, that decision did not end well for the 3 guys. However, it does help to convince Richard to trust Reacher and open up to him about his father's business. Richard says that Julius McCabe took over his father's business and uses threats of harm to Richard to keep his father in line. It was McCabe who kidnapped Richard before, and he had Polly cut off Richard's ear after beating and locking him in a trunk for days. His father was originally only in the rug business and found a way around the red tape associated with international shipping by paying off the right people. McCabe caught wind of this and wanted the shortcuts, but instead of paying for them, he took over the system by using Richard as leverage over Beck. Richard says neither he nor his father know what McCabe actually ships. They only know that McCabe smuggles his products in the rugs. Reacher asks Richard if he ever heard the name Xavier Quinn before, but Richard says he hadn't. At the dock, Duffy thinks she's identified Julius McCabe. As Reacher gets back to the house, Beck tells him about the email from Angel Doll and that Reacher, Duke, and himself are going there right now. Reacher tells them he has to take a leak so he can go and get Angel Doll's gun from where he hid it.
Let's go, asshole.
Once inside the abandoned house, Reacher turns his gun on Duke and asks him where Teresa is. Duke tells Reacher he would rather be arrested than cross McCabe. Reacher takes out Duke, having created a vacancy for Beck's number 2. Reacher blows up the house. Reacher tells Beck that Duke is dead, and there were 8 guys waiting to ambush them. Reacher says one of the guys set off a hand grenade, but he managed to find cover while Duke didn't. He said he didn't get a good look at anyone, but he picked up a gun they dropped. Beck recognizes the gun as the one he gave to Angel Doll. Beck deduces that Angel was working for the group and wonders if he has other rats in the nest. Reacher adds that 2 of the guys reminded him of the guys he switched trucks with the other day. Beck takes the bait and figures that's why the 2 were MIA in the morning. Beck says he suspects that Reacher will be promoted to the new number 2 position,